Hey y'all, what's up? Welcome back to a brand new episode of Giving Sense 92, giving you guys the latest on music, entertainment news, and inspirational quotes. So today is going to be a new video, and I'm going to be honest, I'm going to be brutal and blunt, so be prepared. So yeah. Um, I'm going to talk about the topic on positive role models. The topic on like people having positive role models in their life. So the quote right here says, "Be the role model you needed when you were younger." Now, how I interpret this is like, okay, as a child, for me, perfect example, I looked up to some people who I admired who made an impact on my life as a child. They were like my peers, my classmates, my teachers, even my family members, um, you know, favorite singers, favorite artists in music. So that ties in together. So to me, it's like as we get older, things change, our lives change. We go through things, we go through different transitions to where we're at now. And we reflect back on, our childhood in some ways, some shape or form, because that does connect with like children, especially like I said, they need positive role models in their lives, period. I don't care who it is. And I'm talking about worthy, genuine people, period. Okay? So it's like, so for me to see like people that you know made an impact on my life, to like they followed their dreams, they had goals, a lot of ambition, they never gave up on themselves, they encouraged others to say you can do the same thing. That's a perfect example of a role model. That's a person that have lived through their life experiences, what they've been through, and they put it all together, and that's what have made them become who they are as a role model. Now, role models can be, the definition of a role model to other people can be different, maybe different to others. I got a lot of respect for people who have like their different or their own opinions of positive role model. So that's cool. And then what I've been seeing nowadays, it is what it is, but I feel like I have to address some things too, because I understand society. We do live in like a world where we are influenced by other people, whether it's good or bad people, in between. It depends on the individual. But I've always been a firm believer in thinking for myself and set a perfect example for me to be the positive role model that I can be for me. And other people can look up to me and who are inspired by me. And I'm not saying we're not perfect human beings. And that's what I'm going to address later on in this video. But what I'm saying is that it's natural to like or to admire someone that has, made something out of themselves, he or she or they, who have really put in the work, dedication to be great for themselves. And there's only one them, and they are who they are, period, whether people accept it or not. I also think that, nowadays, especially influences on social media, and especially like social media, even the real world, some people, they don't have many positive role models in their lives. And I understand that feeling where it's like, damn, I wish somebody would have told me this, or I wish like somebody would have told me some positive things that can help me grow as a person. Some people, unfortunately, they are in toxic environments. They don't have people that encourage them, to uplift them, to tell them they are beautiful for who they are. They can do it. They can achieve their goals and their dreams, and they support them. One thing I've noticed too, there have been times in my life where I was like, I felt like I didn't get enough support. I didn't even really know who I was at one point, because I was always overshadowed by other people. Even people like trying to make me something that I wasn't, or always try to compare me to other people. And I think that also that was a perfect example of, that's a bad example of being, not a positive role model. Because if you got people that are always negative, putting other people down, talking about how other people are this and that and third, and I'd be like, well, what the hell are you? sir or madam, bro or sis, but it's like, for me, I think that it just comes with a lot of courage just to say, you know what, I'm not going to be living a life of misery, and I do not want to live a life that, is going to make me feel worthless or try to bring me down. And I understand people can really like see how far they've come in life. I don't know where they started, and even for me, like people that I am inspired by, who I think are positive role models, I think that just the example of just being resilient, period, because I think that's one of the traits and attributes of a positive role model is being resilient. Don't let others dictate your destiny, your future, how you're supposed to be as a person, just because they feel a certain way. Or, like I said in my last videos, people who can be haters and resentful and envy of you for no reason because they're miserable, so they see something in you that they wish they could have had, so they try to tear you down, which is really pathetic and sad because I feel like there's room. Unfortunately, some others, they don't see it like that, but it's all good because when I turn to a Super Saiyan, it's going to be on and popping, so yeah. But carry on, like Beyonce says. I also think that when I see the media, news, and music, and entertainment, that's a perfect example of like how I know some young children, they get influenced by listening to music, entertainment, news, and all that above. But I feel like the parents should take the responsibility to raise their children to be leaders, to achieve, to be great, to set a positive example for themselves and around, for their, family and for their communities, because it's too much of this mentality nowadays. I just feel like it is my opinion, but I feel like this is what I'm saying. You have the right to agree, you have the right to disagree. But I also think that for some of these, things like children, they get easily influenced by things that they see and they think, oh, this is real, and then they imitate it and then they reenact it. Sometimes it can be good, sometimes it can be bad. But I want parents to teach their children to have self-esteem and to have the courage to go against the grain. Don't be afraid to be different. And I don't care what nobody says. People can holler this, well, you gotta fit in with the crowd and shit. 9 times out of 10, that shit don't work. I mean, it will work in some cases, yes, but when it comes to like being able to separate yourself from everybody else, this is the thing where you have to really like go in and believe and just be you. Because I also noticed that, okay, for example, I'm not gonna name no names, but I've noticed like even some of these celebrities nowadays, and they're a perfect example of like how society treats them, like, oh, they're supposed to be role models and set an example for people, right, and themselves. But some of them, I'm not saying all of them, some of them set bad examples. They live their lives, they do whatever, but it's almost like they'll turn around and have the audacity to put down on people or try to condemn people that they think a different way, or if they don't believe in something, or they say, well, I choose to do this for the better of my sanity and my peace and my inner self and my mind, to elevate, to do better. And they will try to condemn and try to tear down those people in general, that they feel like, oh, well, you need to get over it and da 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 da, and this is my life, and whether you like it or not, you are, it's something wrong with you. And really, to me, it can be really scary, because I've noticed throughout the years, some people, I'm not going to mention no names, I'm going to try to keep it civil, but unfortunately, people who, like, we thought, because in the public eye and the celebrity and stuff, behind closed doors, they can be different things. And in some bad cases, they are some monsters and some evil motherfuckers. I said it, I put it out there. If you don't like it, you're happy to exit, and you're happy not to listen to my stuff, because I'm keeping it 100. And it's like, people, they say, oh, this person, what they may see, the image, and like what they have, what they may say, oh, this person is cool and this, but behind closed doors, they're evil. Or they're, not good people. But my thing is, I just go by your consistency of like your actions, not by your words. Because sometimes I would just sit back and be like, okay, well, this person is this and that, but at the end of the day, I only determine by the level of like, I mean, if you're an evil person, I go by that. There's no fucking ifs, ands, or buts. It's just you. If you're evil, you're evil people. Period. Because there are evil people out there. But um, when I look at how these young children they get influenced, and some of them they be off the wrong track, and I get concerned for the youth, because the youth, there are like the up and coming generation to make a difference. There are future leaders. There are future like to change the world. So I want the youth to like think for themselves, and like I said, stay on the right path. And like, even if you don't have a lot of positive role models, I mean, because I understand, like, okay, for example, perfect example in my case, I would say I had some positive role models, but a lot of that stuff I really kind of look towards my favorite motivational speaker, Les Brown, for a perfect example. I love Les Brown. Les Brown, he's like one of the well-known motivational speakers. So I grew up with reading his book. He came from like not having much as a child. He was adopted. He went through challenges in his life, but he kept going. He didn't give up, and he pushed through. And he's a successful motivational speaker. And he tells people, encourages people to never give up, live your dreams. Like, you're gonna have hardships, but you can't overcome them. He's a perfect example of that. A lot of other people I look up to is Missy Elliott. Missy Elliott is one of my favorite artists, period. She's a singer, songwriter, rapper, dancer, producer. She does it all, okay? Missy Elliott, her story, coming to the music business, how she faced challenges of like people, they didn't support her vision, her art as an artistic visionary and as a creative artist, period, because she wasn't the image that they like, she didn't fit that certain image in music, especially in women, in the music business, because it's challenging, it's toxic, and it can be a pain in the ass, but that's what she went through. But she went through it, but she pushed through, and she's a perfect example of being resilient, being fly, not giving a damn. And we know her for being the greatest like artist of her generation, period. And I always look at her as the perfect example, because she's pretty much one of my like influences of like being creative. Like, I'm an artist, so I love to draw, I love to paint. So every time I'm feeling down, I look at her for like inspiration. Who else do I love? Mary J. Blige. Mary J. Blige is one of my favorite artists too. Mary J. Blige, the queen of hip hop soul. She really, like, that's another one. Like, she changed my life with her albums and like her music. She went through her struggle, she went through pain, but she persevered. And like, she's another one that I love so much. Other people, I would say Aaliyah. Aaliyah is another one. She's very well, actually she still is like one of the well-known R&B singers, and one of the people that I grew up with music. Sorry y'all, my family going on so bad, so I'm trying to push through. But anyway, Aaliyah, pretty much she was one of those like artists, that female artists in R&B, crossing over the pop too, having like the the best of both worlds. She was really like pretty much the it chick in R&B, and I like the fact that her humble, her spirit, her drive and dedication, like, she really touched the lives of her fans and people with her music. And even though she had to go away, which of course, shout out to Aaliyah, rest in paradise, we love you, Team Aaliyah. You already know I'm a Aaliyah fan, so you come at Aaliyah, I might drag your ass, but that's a different story. Yeah, so who else? Mariah Carey. Mariah Carey is another inspiration of mine, because Mariah Carey is another artist that she has touched people's lives with her music, and she really made an impact. And being a singer, songwriter, producer, the song Bird Supreme, having that 5-octave vocal, like, pretty much her music is like therapy, and she has helped and saved many people's lives with her music. She even acknowledged it. She said, listen, I know I've saved a lot of people's lives with my music. And this is why I think that with her, she's a perfect example that even listening to her music, she helped me throughout my years of like I went through depression, anxiety, and so forth. So yeah, those are like some people like that I pretty much like as a I would call them as positive role models, you know. And it's okay that people they say stuff like, oh, you know, any negative person that want to tear down people who they feel inferior or who they feel like, oh, well, you know, they're not this and that and third. That's their opinion. So you can't let people's negative opinions of you dictate your destiny and your future. So being a positive role model is just setting an example of like just believing in yourself, chase after your dreams, dust off the haters, dust off the naysayers, and just keep going and keep pushing. I also think that I really see how times have changed a lot because especially when I saw how like when I was a child, and then I was like, okay, I went through the process of like finding myself, discovering myself. Okay, I was like, all right, there's some things that I don't like, so I'm gonna make a change. I'm gonna make a difference for the sake of my sanity, so I can do it for me, moi, the queen. So anyway, and I really want people to challenge themselves, and I want them to be like a risk taker, and have that badass mindset, and just go for it, and just like I said, make sure that they, if people like who they're real friends, they stay around people that are positive and have something to offer and really like, just encourage them. But also that person, you have to encourage yourself and you have to believe in yourself. It starts with you. So I would suggest, and this is what I do, in my spare time, I will write and I'll say positive sayings, what I like about me, and some things that I want to fix, and some things I want to better myself. Also, I look in the mirror and I also say, positive things to myself in the mirror. A reaffirmation say, okay, yeah, I'm this and I'm that and the third. Also, since I'm an artist, I like to paint and draw, so I want to do self-portraits. I've done some self-portraits, but I'm going to make sure I do some more in the future because that's like another way for me to express my art and express myself. And I've seen like especially famous artists, they've done self-portraits of themselves like throughout the years. But to me that's a way of like feeling good about yourself and knowing that you are somebody and you can make a difference in this world because you're here for a purpose. I mean, you're here. So I also think that you just don't give up on yourself. And being a role model is challenging, but hey, you're in it for you. What you want in life. You want to set your standards. You can do it. You can have the life that you always wanted to have, a life like of fun, adventure, good memories, and things that, like I said, you got to be able to like, put your mind to it, and just put everything like your heart and even your dedication. So I always think about that for me, now it's like I'm just going to do it, period. And being a positive role model for myself is like learning how to love myself and accept the fact that, I am who I am. I'm not perfect. I'm not somebody that, and this is my opinion because I'm going to be blunt from now on. I just don't like mofos that try to compare people to everybody else. And I'm the type of person, I'm just me. I can't be nobody but me. You can't compare me to somebody else because it's just irrelevant. There's only one me, and I think that really what makes it just makes me really frustrated how some people, I understand some people, their perceptions of other people is their perception, but my thing is, you gotta accept people for who they are, period. If you don't, that's your issue. That's not the person's issue, so you can keep it pushing. So I think that as we get older, we'll have the confidence, we'll have the courage to like do things that we want to do, and to inspire other people to lead an example for themselves, and don't be followers and be leaders. And it's okay, you don't have to have a whole bunch of friends. It's okay, you don't have to have a whole lot of, because I understand that you want people to like you, but there's some people who are not going to like you, which is fine. And then you don't have some people who are haters, which is fine. And like I said, I always say, be humble, you be direct, you get what you want. But if you have a hating ass biatch coming at you, and you have tried to do everything you can to be, civil, sometimes in life you just gotta tell a mofo that they need to get stepping. They need to go, and don't look back. Because I also think that, people nowadays, I know we all go through issues, but we gotta work on ourselves and fix ourselves for the better cause and the greater good for us being good, positive, productive human beings. So, yeah, that's all I gotta say about being a positive role model. So yeah, guys, please, please, please check out my inspirational videos. Like I said, I love doing this, so you get an idea of like my opinions, my perspectives, and you share me your stories. And I'm open, and I love to like just read the comments and stuff, so interact with me on a personal level. And like I said, yeah. So yeah, guys, what do you guys think about this new topic? Positive role models. Having a positive role model. Like, share, comment, subscribe down below. Don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button. Don't be afraid to hit that notification bell. And as always, stay tuned next episode of Gibson Sense 92, Dragon Ball Z, Marriott Reference. Peace. Bye bye.